My name is Daniela Hayes. I'm 38 years old. And the strange thing about the moment your life quietly begins to fall apart is that it doesn't sound like a disaster when it starts. There's no thunder, no screaming, no warning sign flashing red in your face telling you, this is it, the moment everything breaks. Sometimes it starts with a sentence, or worse, with silence. 3 days ago, I still had a man I thought I was going to spend the rest of my life with. His name is Michael Hayes. We had been together for 12 years, 2 kids, a house we had just renovated because he said he wanted to host more dinners, like we were still the kind of couple people admired. I believed him. I believed all of it. Even when things felt off. Even when his late nights became routine. Even when his phone was suddenly always face down. I told myself what every woman tells herself when she's not ready to face the truth. It's just a phase. So I did something stupid. Something hopeful. I decided to surprise him. He told me the trip was strictly business, big conference, important meetings. He kissed my forehead before leaving, looked me in the eyes, and said, "Trust me." So I packed an overnight bag, left the kids with my mother, bought lingerie that cost more than I'd ever admit out loud, because I thought maybe, just maybe, I could fix whatever distance had been growing between us. God. I almost laugh thinking about it now. The hotel lobby was bright. Marble floors, soft music, people moving in and out like nothing in the world was wrong. At first, I didn't even see him. What I saw was her. Rebecca. His coworker. The one he told me not to worry about. She was sitting in the lobby like she belonged there, like she belonged in his life, wearing his college shirt. My favorite one. The one I had folded carefully into his suitcase just 3 days ago. She was laughing. Not politely. Not professionally. Comfortably. Like this wasn't new. Like this was routine. And then I saw him. Standing close. Too close. His hand resting on the small of her back, like it had memorized the shape of her. The same way it used to memorize mine. I don't remember walking closer. I don't remember breathing. All I remember is the moment he leaned down and kissed her. Not quick, not accidental, not something you could explain away. It was slow, familiar, intentional. The kind of kiss that doesn't ask for permission because it already knows it belongs there. And something inside me, something quiet but fundamental, just broke. I stood there, frozen near the entrance, my bag slipping slightly off my shoulder. I think someone asked if I needed help with my luggage. I couldn't answer. Because I was watching 12 years of my life collapse in real time. She saw me first. Rebecca's eyes widened, her body going stiff as she pulled away from him. Michael turned, and I will never forget the look on his face. Not guilt. Not immediately. Confusion. Like I wasn't supposed to be there. Like I was the disruption. "Daniela?" His voice cracked. "What are you doing here?" What am I doing here? I should have screamed. Thrown something. Made a scene big enough that the entire lobby would remember it forever. Instead, I laughed. A hollow, broken sound that didn't feel like it came from me. "Surprise," I said. Rebecca was already stepping back, mumbling something about leaving. But Michael reached out and grabbed her wrist. Right in front of me. Like I was the outsider. "Wait," he told her. Then to me, "This isn't what it looks like." Of course it wasn't. Because what it looked like was the truth. I pulled out my phone, not even sure why. Maybe to steady my hands? "Sure," I said softly. "Let's talk about what it really is." He glanced around the lobby, lowering his voice. "Please, not here." "Of course. Not here. Not where people could see. Not where his image might crack." I took a step back toward the door. "You're right," I said. "Not here." He looked relieved. For half a second. "Not anywhere," I finished. His expression changed. "Daniela, we're done talking." I turned before he could say anything else. And this time, he didn't follow me. That was the moment I knew. Not when I saw the kiss. Not when I saw her wearing his shirt. But when I walked away and he stayed exactly where he was. The flight home felt like watching someone else's life from behind glass. I sat by the window while the city disappeared beneath the clouds, my overnight bag tucked under the seat in front of me, the ridiculous lingerie still inside, like evidence of a woman I no longer recognized. 12 years. 2 children. A house with a kitchen we had just spent $30,000 renovating because Michael said he wanted more family memories. And all this time, he had been building memories somewhere else. I went straight from the airport to a lawyer's office. Her name was Janet Miller. She looked at me once and didn't ask me to explain everything right away. She just poured me water and slid a box of tissues across the desk. "When did you find out?" she asked. 3 hours ago. She nodded like she had heard that kind of devastation before. "Do you have proof?" I thought about the photos I didn't take, the scene I didn't cause, the scream I swallowed. "No," I said, "but I don't think you'll fight it." I was wrong. Michael was already in our living room when I got home. The kids were still at my mother's, thank God. He sat in his favorite chair, elbows on his knees, like he was the wounded one. "We need to talk about what you think you saw," he said. I placed my purse on the table slowly. What I think I saw? His jaw tightened. It was a mistake. "You kissed another woman in a hotel lobby. Your coworker. Your work wife. Wearing your shirt." It didn't mean anything. Those words almost made me laugh. Nothing. 4 months later, he would admit it had been happening since spring. 4 months while I was packing school lunches. 4 months while I was planning his birthday. 4 months while I blamed myself for the way he stopped touching me. "Get out," I said. "This is my house, too. Then I'll call my mother and tell her why she needs to keep the kids another night. Then I'll call your mother. Then your boss." For the first time, he looked afraid. Not of losing me. Of being exposed. He packed a bag in silence. I watched him fold his shirts with the same careful hands that had held another woman's face. At the door, he turned back. "When you calm down, we can discuss this rationally." I closed the door before he finished. Then I walked into our beautiful new kitchen, sank onto the cold floor, and finally cried. The divorce papers were ready within a week. I had them delivered to his office during a department meeting. The same room where Rebecca would be sitting, 3 seats away, pretending to take notes. Michael called me 147 times that day. I didn't answer once. The first thing nobody tells you about ending a 12-year relationship is how loud the silence becomes. Not peaceful. Not calm. But hollow. The kind that echoes. The kind that reminds you, every second, how much space one person used to take up, even when they were barely there. Michael didn't accept the divorce quietly. Not at first. He hired a lawyer who talked about preserving the family, about temporary lapses in judgment, about how relationships require forgiveness. I read those letters sitting at my kitchen table, the same one we picked out together, and I felt nothing. Because forgiveness implies something accidental, and there was nothing accidental about 4 months of lies. The kids knew something was wrong almost immediately. Emma stopped sleeping through the night. She would wake up crying, saying she had bad dreams she couldn't explain. Jack started getting notes sent home from school, talking back, refusing to listen, things he had never done before. I told them their father was staying somewhere else for a while, that adults sometimes needed space. The lie tasted bitter, but not as bitter as the truth would have been. 2 weeks after I filed, Michael showed up to Emma's soccer game. He didn't come alone. He brought Rebecca. Just brought her. Like it was normal. Like she had any right to stand on the sidelines where I had stood for years, cheering for my daughter. The other parents noticed. Of course they did. Some stared. Some whispered. Some looked at me with that expression people wear when they don't know whether to comfort you or avoid you. Emma saw them. She froze mid-field. Then she ran off, straight past me, crying so hard she couldn't breathe. That was the moment something inside me shifted. Something cold. Something final. I stopped trying to be civil after that. Janet documented everything. The affair. Michael's admission. The fact that he had the audacity to introduce the woman he cheated with into our children's lives before the divorce was even finalized. And then, we found more. It wasn't just Rebecca. It never is. There were charges on our joint account, restaurants I had never been to, jewelry I had never received, hotel rooms during all those late nights at the office. When I confronted him, he didn't even fight it anymore. There were a few mistakes, he said. A few. 12 years. Reduced to a collection of mistakes. I realized then that I hadn't just lost a partner. I had been living with a stranger. The fallout spread faster than I expected. Friends we had known for years suddenly didn't know how to act around me. The men avoided eye contact. The women either clung too tightly or kept their distance, like heartbreak might be contagious. Couples we used to have dinner with stopped calling. Invitations stopped coming. It was like my entire life had been built on a foundation that vanished overnight. My family tried to help. My mother didn't say, "I told you so," but it lived in every look she gave me. My father tried to fill in the gaps, showing up more for the kids, helping with school runs, but even he didn't know what to say to me. My sister kept suggesting I get back out there, as if another relationship could patch what had been broken. Then came the house. We had to sell it. There was no way I could afford it alone, and Michael wasn't about to keep paying for a place he no longer lived in. I watched strangers walk through the rooms we had built a life in, commenting on the kitchen, the bedrooms, the backyard where we had planned to build a treehouse. Emma cried the night we packed. Jack didn't speak for 3 days. We moved into a small rental across town. 2 bedrooms. Thin walls. The kids shared a room. I took the couch. Michael got partial custody. Every other weekend. Wednesdays. The judge called it standard. There was nothing standard about watching your children pack bags to go stay with the man who had broken their world. Emma started calling Rebecca Dad's friend, even though we both knew better. Jack came home one day and said, "Rebecca makes pancakes better than you." I locked myself in the bathroom and cried quietly so they wouldn't hear. Finding work was its own kind of humiliation. I had left my career 5 years ago to raise our children. Now my resume looked like a question mark. I finally found a job as an administrative assistant. Half the pay Michael made. Twice the stress. No flexibility. 6 months after the divorce was finalized, I saw them again. At a store. Michael and Rebecca. Shopping together like they were just another couple. Like nothing had ever happened. And then I saw it. Her stomach. Round. Unmistakable.
Pregnant.
Michael saw me notice. His face flickered. Surprise, guilt, then something else. Something like justification. Like he had already decided this was okay. "Daniela," he started. I didn't let him finish. I left my cart in the aisle and walked out. Sat in my car until my hands stopped shaking. That night, Emma asked me why I looked sad. I told her I had a headache. The pregnancy changed everything, again. Michael went back to court. Said he had new financial responsibilities. Asked to reduce child support. And the court agreed. 30% cut. I picked up extra shifts. Started shopping at cheaper grocery stores. Told the kids we were being careful with money. They nodded like they understood. Rebecca had the baby in the spring. A boy. Michael posted pictures online. Smiling. Happy. A new chapter. Emma saw one of the photos on my phone. She asked me if her father loved the new baby more than her and Jack. I said no. But for the first time, I wasn't sure if I believed it. The strangest part about surviving something that was supposed to destroy you is that life doesn't stop. It just reshapes itself around the damage. A year passed. Then another. Not in big, dramatic milestones, but in quiet, uneven steps. School mornings, grocery runs, late nights where the apartment felt too small for all the thoughts I couldn't turn off. I tried dating once. Twice, actually. Men who seemed kind, patient, interested. But every question felt loaded. Every "where were you" sounded like a lie waiting to happen. Every silence felt suspicious. Trust wasn't something I had anymore. It was something I used to have. Emma started therapy after she told her school counselor she wished she could disappear. Jack's grades dropped. He went from the boy who raised his hand for everything to the one who barely spoke. I sat through parent-teacher meetings alone, smiling, nodding, promising things would get better, even when I didn't know if they would. Michael moved on faster than I thought possible. Or maybe he had already moved on long before I found out. He married Rebecca. Small ceremony. I didn't hear it from him. I heard it from someone else. Emma and Jack were invited, but not included. Not important enough to stand beside their father on the day he built his new life. Emma told me Rebecca looked beautiful in white. I smiled. Waited until they were asleep. Then I locked myself in the bathroom and threw up. Because some pain doesn't fade. It just changes shape. I saw photos later. Online. His parents were there, holding the new baby, smiling the same way they had smiled when Emma and Jack were born. Except this time, I wasn't part of the picture. They had disappeared from my life completely. No calls. No messages. No explanation. 12 years erased like it had never existed. But they showed up for him. For his new family. And I realized something then. I hadn't just lost a partner. I had lost an entire world. Time kept moving. It always does. The kids adjusted, in their own ways. Emma became quieter, more observant, like she was always watching for something to go wrong. Jack started acting tougher than he was. Like if he didn't care, nothing could hurt him. And me? I became someone I didn't fully recognize. Stronger, maybe, but harder. More careful. Less willing to believe in anything that sounded like forever. Last week would have been our 15th anniversary. I remembered. Of course I did. Dates like that don't just disappear. They settle into your bones. I sat in my car outside our apartment, staring at my hands. At the space where my ring used to be. Thinking about the woman I used to be. The one who believed in promises. The one who packed his suitcase. The one who kissed him goodbye. Never imagining she was sending him straight into someone else's arms. She feels like a stranger now. Naive. Hopeful. Blind. I miss her sometimes. Because even if her happiness was built on lies, it was still happiness. The last time I saw Michael was at Jack's school play. He sat a few rows ahead, Rebecca beside him, their son in her arms. He turned once. Our eyes met. And then he looked away. Quickly. Like I was something uncomfortable. Something he didn't want to acknowledge. And in that moment, I understood something with absolute clarity. He had already rewritten our story. In his version, I'm probably the bitter ex. The difficult one. The one who couldn't let go. And Rebecca? She's the love story. The fresh start. The woman who understood him. But I know the truth. And someday, maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, but someday, she will too. Because men who cheat with you don't change. They just change timing. I don't hate him anymore. Hate requires energy, emotion, investment, and I have none of that left for him. I don't wish him happiness. I don't wish him suffering. I don't wish him anything. He's nothing to me now. Just a man I used to love. A stranger. With a wedding ring. The difference is, I see myself clearly now. Not as the woman who was left, but as the one who survived. Who wakes up every morning, even when it's hard, even when it hurts, and builds something anyway. It's not the life I planned. It's smaller, quieter, lonelier sometimes. But it's real. And it's mine. And maybe that's enough.